Michael, congratulations. Just they gave you a real tough game, maybe more than you anticipated. Just talking that first half, going down two into halftime, that message, because you guys came out really hot and scored 2 goals in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, look, the first part is we knew Colorado had a really good season. You know, I said during the week, all you had to do was look at the standings and look at the number of wins they had. It's a good team, and the way that they play presents real challenges. You know, their front group is dangerous. You know, and so we knew that going in, and obviously they showed that on a bunch of plays tonight. The message at halftime was just, it was simple, that we had 55 more minutes to keep playing. That the game was there for us. The game was more or less exactly what we thought it would be. And we needed to just keep going 1 minute at a time and find a way to get the first goal. That, you know, we didn't have to make crazy changes. We didn't have to go wild. We just needed to do the things that we work on every single day, to play football, to try to win the ball back quickly, to create chances, to score goals. Again, we work on that every single day. So it was just, come on, we get 55 more minutes now, and don't think about the end. Just 1 minute, one play, one goal at a time.
Next goes Sean.
Sean Suckle, Magazine. Congratulations on a big win. How gratifying to you is it you win this in your home state? There's another great player from your state, Alecko, is here. Coach, who you played with this year. How important is that to you to have your contemporaries coming back around and assuring you that this is the place to be?
Yeah, it's special. I said it in different words last week, but there's a lot of football history and culture in this area. You know, there's a lot of really good players have come from not far. A lot of really good coaches, a lot of really good teams, and so, you know, now you add in the diversity, the makeup of New York, New Jersey, tri-state area, and so this is a real football area, and so, you know, to be able to play a final here in a stadium like this, the crowd was incredible, and so yeah, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to the players. It means a lot to the club.
Next go to Michael Batista.
Coach, I don't think it's fair for me to ask you to, rank this in terms of things you've done in your career, but I do want to know, you've won, an MLS Cup as a player. The feeling you had with Toronto back, 2017, could you just talk about comparing that feeling to the feeling you're having right now?
Oh, it's right up there. It's right up there. So yeah, you're nice for not making me compare literally, but it's right up there. So the part of when you're on the inside of something with a group of people, as a player, when it's your teammates and a coaching staff and a support staff behind the scenes, when now you're a coach and it's your players and your staff and your support staff, like the part of being in something together, the part of creating something that every person feels is proud of and feel like there's a sense of ownership, and there's a sense of belonging, of unity in that. Like that part, that's the beauty of team sport. It's the beauty of football, and look, in even if you're not in sports, like in life, the part of doing things with people that you care about, trying to do something special together. That part makes anything more fun. And so, when you get, as a young coach, when now I get the opportunity to come in and inside a club like this, coach a group of players, and work with them every day and challenge them and try to help them and take them individually and collectively to another level. First of all, it's so much fun, and then at the end, when you get a little bit or a big reward, and now you get to share a night like this together, that is, goes up there with any moment in my career.
Next go to James Burley.
Thanks, Mike. Congrats. There were a number of players who had standout performances today, but I want to ask about Adri Mehmeti. As the leader of this team, you were once a young midfielder who came up through this club. What can you say about his performance today, dominating the midfield, and just as a leader, a young leader for this group, and ultimately a very successful season in the end?
Yeah, Adri had a really, really good season, and I would say that in this last period of the season in the playoffs, he raised his level even more. He's a really talented young player. He's a great kid. He has big personality. He has a really good way with his teammates, and you only have to watch him for a few minutes on the field and see the football that he has, the intelligence, and we're really excited at the way that he is continuing to move himself forward.
We'll move to Mark Fishkin.
Congrats, Coach. Just to build on what James said, can you talk a little bit about what Austin Causey's brought to this team during this run? Aiden's obviously on the other side of the world playing for the national team, and Causey has had a really strong game tonight and kept you in it at times. Thanks.
Yeah, really, really happy for Austin. In my first game down in Carolina, Aiden went up to catch a cross and came down on his ankle, and Austin had to go on after 20-25 minutes and played really well. And in the stretch that followed, there was a moment or two where he didn't play. Aiden was back and healthy, and so I'd speak to him and just say, look, your leadership and your presence in the group is really important. I know ultimately you want to play. Everybody wants to play. But I reminded him that the way the calendar was set up this year, that the Under-17 World Cup was going to fall right at the end of our season, and that if we could go on a good run in the playoffs, that there was a real chance that now we were going to need him ready to be able to play and be at his best. And so, he was such a good professional in this last period, even on the days when he wasn't playing, in terms of now making sure that he was training and ready. Our goalkeeper coach Miguel Gutierrez deserves a huge amount of credit for how he worked with him, and so in the end, when we really needed him, Austin was there.
Next we'll go to Luke Sirianni.
Coach, congratulations. You guys have outscored the teams in the playoffs this season 15-8. Can you just talk about how your offense keeps rising to the occasion time and time again, even in tough moments?
Yeah, we feel like we have a lot of good attacking players. We feel like, again, we step on the field every single game to try to play our football, and what does that mean? It means we want to attack, we want to score goals, we want to create chances, we want to win the ball back quickly, we want to play the game as far away from our own goal as possible. And it means that in certain moments there's bigger space for our defenders to have to deal with, and it means that in every now and then there's a fire that we have to put out, but generally speaking, in terms of like our ideas and the football that we want to play in the other team's half, and we want to try to we want to be there to make chances and score goals, and again, that is still what gets worked on every day, the full package, not just that, but then the part of, okay, what happens when you lose it? You know, what are the reactions of the team? How quickly can we win it? If we can't win it, how do we reorganize? And then when we do win it, how do we start to play our football again? And so, yeah, it's a really good feeling that then when you get to big games and that your ideas and your football get tested, that we were able to hold up in really good ways.
Next goal, Skylar.
Congratulations, Coach, on your win tonight. This is the second match this postseason. You guys win the extra time, and also Colorado went into extra time for their semi-conference final. What can you say about the guys' determination and persistence for such a long, grueling season and to come out as champions?
Yeah, the mentality of the players of the group has been incredible. You know, like I said, mentioned at the beginning, even on a big night when not everything just went perfectly, they kept playing, they kept competing, they weren't phased. They kept at it together, and so yeah, when you have to do that then for 120 minutes, both against Chicago and now tonight, yeah, that part. There's also then the part of the resiliency, you know, mental resiliency, physical resiliency, and so yeah, in all ways, we're really, really proud of the group.
Next we'll go to Gary.
First of all, congratulations. When you and I met over at MSU, over at the center, when you were just appointed as the new head coach of this team, to now, after Causey made that save, what was the very first thing in your head saying, wow, did you expect to be here at this time, at this moment, and now you're the champion, you're the head coach of a championship team? What was going through your mind at that very moment?
Yeah, I mean, the first part of your question, there's always an end goal, but you don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about that. You know, it's the work every day, it's the process, the environment that gets created, the training sessions, how you challenge and engage the players, like how you try to help them all individually improve so that the team can get better. It's that process repeats itself every single day, and so you go to bed every night thinking about that and thinking about how the next day is gonna get pieced together, and you wake up every morning thinking about how it's gonna get laid out. And yeah, along the way, you, especially with the group, you try to get them to think about then the bigger picture, the direction that we're trying to go, the motivation of at the end of the year, some bigger games, some brighter lights, playing in the stadium, playing in the big stadium, all this kind of stuff. But still, it's the work every single day. And so at the end, when we're the last team standing, and when we're the ones who get to hold up the trophy, it's a sense of calm and a sense of pride just to be able to watch, like, look at the players and see the smiles on their faces, and to see how much it means to them, the joy, the happiness. Yeah, look, I've been in the game for a long time, but tonight was the first time that I got to experience that, and so that was really special.
Next we'll go to Luca.
Austin, congrats on the championship. Fantastic. Great job. Coach talked to us about the importance of keeping you engaged and letting you know that your chance was going to come. Talk to us about what this playoff run has been like for you and how you saw this game from your side.
Yeah, no, it's sorry, excuse my voice. No, it's been great. It's been great through this whole year. I kind of knew, what the situation was going to be. With Stokes getting multiple call-ups and different things like that, it was always the point of, when he's gone, I step into the role. And kind of as the tick down the track, it looked like he was going to be gone for the World Cup, which is exactly how it played out, and that I was going to step in to take care of the playoff games, and I couldn't be happier to have gotten the win tonight, and yeah, it's huge.
Next, go to Dan.
Austin stepped up when the team needed you most, especially with that save when they could have gotten, back into it, and the penalty shootout. Just talk about how difficult that first half was to give up those first two, but come back stronger in the second half and in the penalty shootout.
Yeah, going into it, we knew it was going to be a tough game no matter what. But, at halftime in the locker room, we just put our heads down and worked. We said to ourselves we're going to come out in the second half and implement our way, play the way we want to, the way we know we can, and ultimately bounce back. And, we did. We did, and that was huge. So my job is just to be ready whenever I'm called upon, and, luckily enough to have a good game tonight and, get this championship.
Next, go to Michael Batista.
Awesome. There's two moments I kind of want to pick your brain about. The first one was after that goal by Colorado in the 78th. The camera panned to you right after the replay, and it showed you trying to tell your guys something. You were composed and you were trying to give emotion for them. Can you talk about that? With 12 minutes to go in regulation plus stoppage, just what was the plan going forward for them? And the second one was in the fourth round against, I think it was Alex Harris, with you guys needed a safe to win. The camera again pointed to you, and you were smiling, and you were saying something. Can you elaborate on what you were saying, or?
Yeah. No, to answer the first part of your question, ultimately, I was just trying to keep the guys, focused and ready to go back again. Throughout the course of this year, there's been many situations where maybe we've given up a goal that we want to take back, but we can't focus on that. We focus on the next point. So in that moment, it was ultimately just keep going. I'm yelling at the guys, keep going, next one. Just ultimately that forward focus kind of mindset, And then the penalty shootout, it was mostly just trying to get in their head as much as I could. I think in that moment, it just, like I said, I told the guys going into the penalty shootout, I said, my guys, I need you just to put your head down, focus on your kick, bury it, and I just need one. I just need at least one. Yeah.
Next, go to Sean.
Sean Soccer Magazine. So to build a new list statement about 81, it's widely held that if the goalkeeper does make, in fact, a save, you've done your job. You did that first one, so how much of a relief did you feel upon doing that? How much do you think it rose the hopes and spirits of your team as well?
No, it was great. To set the tone, the first one was great. Hit off the post and hit off my head, so I guess I'll count that as a save. But yeah, ultimately, I think it just gave myself confidence and the rest of the team confidence to just step up. And like I said, they needed to take care of their job, and they did.
Going to Zach.
Austin, first of all, congratulations on the win. You obviously had that save at the end of the game, at the end of the shootout, to win the game, to win the cup for your team. Can you just talk to me a little bit about your emotions afterwards in the moment? Obviously, it was a huge moment for you and a huge moment for the team as a whole.
Yeah, disbelief. Disbelief. Seeing the lights change colors, everybody starts running at you, and I didn't really know where to run, so I just ran to the closest corner. And it was truly a great feeling. It was truly a great feeling. We worked so hard for this all year long, and couldn't be happier just to get this result and the championship for us.
Time for two more questions to Austin first. We'll take your deuce on Zoom. We'll wrap up with Daniel Forrest.
Austin, congrats. Thanks for your time. This season you came into the role of the starting keeper later. Can you just talk about the work that you did with the goalkeeper coach, Miguel Gutierrez, to prepare you for this kind of moment?
Yeah, one thing that Miguel and I have a good relationship. I think that going into this, he's put in a lot of effort to me, and I've put a lot of trust into him to kind of get ready for these points. ultimately, when I saw him, I couldn't help but burst into tears for all the work that we put in together. He's a great coach and a great person, and throughout this whole entire time, we've been working on and off the field just for the pressure, for the moments, to make the saves we need to in the important times, and ultimately to be ready. So I think the work we did was huge, and
Questions? In Spanish, do we have any?
Hola Rafa, felicidades por estos 2 títulos en una semana. ¿Cómo te sientes? Primeros títulos aquí en Estados Unidos. ¿Cómo ha sido tu experiencia aquí jugando para los New York Red Bulls número 2?
Claro, primeramente me siento feliz, un sentimiento grande que tengo, ya que lo anhelaba mucho. Quería conseguir esto antes de dar mi salto al primer equipo, que era mi objetivo, y gracias a Dios se me dio. Y nada, son 2 finales que creo que en toda la temporada lo hemos demostrado bien, porque no la merecemos, y nada, feliz.
Next question in English?
Rafa, that big goal from you in the second half to get it back to 2-1, just how critical was that for you in your eyes to kind of motivate the team or boost the team to get that second one just a couple minutes later?
Fue un gol que le dio la motivación a todo el equipo, como dices. Y claro, a mí en lo personal también me ayudó. Cogí más confianza y empecé a encarar, que era lo que me pidió el profe. Y así llegó el penal también. Y claro, supe aprovechar los espacios en algunos momentos. Y nada, estoy feliz como lo dije.
Rafa, can you talk about your offensive partnership with Andy Rojas?
Andy es un gran jugador, me encanta jugar con él. Encara mucho, le encanta encarar mucho a los laterales, y eso es lo que me gusta de él. Defiende también, ayuda bastante al equipo, y creo que él y yo hemos sido cruciales en el equipo, muy importante, y lo hemos demostrado en toda la temporada.
¿Cómo te sientes llevando el MVP también de todo el torneo? ¿Qué te sientes esa experiencia y qué te dice el coach?
Obviamente estoy feliz, pero creo que sin el equipo no lo hubiera conseguido. Eso se lo digo a mis compañeros, a todo el Red Bull, y claro, estoy feliz como lo dije. Creo que ese esfuerzo que doy y mis compañeros se demostró en el campo, y creo que por eso me llevé el MVP.
Adri, the captain of this team, you were pushing through a lot of cramps I saw on the field. Just overall emotions, just grinding through 120 minutes, winning in the penalty shootout, just overall emotions.
Yeah, I mean, it's a surreal feeling, honestly. I mean, even to come back 2-0 down like that, to have the push and the hunger to keep going no matter what. We all stuck together, and it was a great feeling when we got the 3 goals and then the penalty shootout.
I mean, you guys go down after you get the 2 goals in the 80th minute. Just overall message from you, just to motivate these guys to get that penalty just a few short minutes after.
Yeah, I just told the boys, keep going. Like, don't give up, keep believing. Keep sticking together, and it all falls into place.
Adri, can you talk about the overall emotions in the penalty shootout when Austin got that save clean?
Yeah, big save from him. Especially, I think it was in the first half of extra time, he made a big save too. And, big credit to him, because when he always comes in, he doesn't shy away from his moment, and he always gives 120%.
When you see Rold go down with his shoulder injury and just fight through, he's wearing a shoulder harness, pushing through cramp as well. He scores the goal holding off with that injured shoulder. Just when you see a guy like that fighting for this win, just what does that kind of do for the rest of the team?
Yeah, that always gives us that extra motivation, to show that he's so hungry that even when he's injured, he still wants to keep going and keep pushing. And he had a lot of chances in the first half too, and I kept telling him, you're going to get your moment, keep going, keep finding the right spaces, and we're going to find you.
You're lifting the trophy, just 16 years old. You've been here with this club for a long time. Just when you get that trophy and you lift it for the first time, like, what's just running through your mind?
It's crazy feelings, a lot of emotions. A big moment for me, obviously, and for Ibra and Michael to have the trust in me to make me captain at 16-year-old at such a young age, it's a big responsibility, and I think I've handled it very well, and that's going to give me a lot of experience going forward in my career.
What would you say is the biggest difference from playing in the MLS Academy, MLS Next Academy, and playing MLS Next Pro? What's the biggest difference?
Yeah, I've played through all the age groups with Red Bulls, and
as you rise through the ranks, the competition gets higher, it gets more physical, pace of the ball gets faster. You gotta always be thinking 2 steps ahead, and when you get to here, it's a different game. You want to make it to the MLS, but you got to start here first, and it's so fast, and it prepares you for MLS.
What do you think you did good under the academy? The Red Bulls are a big club. Michael Bradley, a big coach, giving you that captain band. How do you feel getting caught up from MLS Next to MLS Next Pro?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a big moment for me in my career. I think, it goes to show that when you put the work in on and off the field and training every day, show up, do the right things, eat right, sleep right, do the things off the field, it all comes to play, and it's all going to fall into place. And it's giving me a lot of experience, every single day, all those games, all those training sessions with the academy, with the second team, first team, whatever it may be.
What's the celebration look like with the family?
I mean, my dad, he's the craziest one in my family. He honestly, he loves the trophy more than me. So, I'm just so proud of them. They're so proud of me, and I thank them for bringing me to where I am today, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
Nate, your time here has been back with the team has been short, but you've done a lot in your couple months here. Just overall emotion, seeing Austin make that final save, and you guys are champions.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously awesome. Everybody's so excited. You can see, the family, the friends, even the support staff. Everybody's just so happy and excited, and it's honestly an honor to be a part of it. And it's a memory I'll remember for a long, long time.
That first half, you guys go down 2-0. They capitalized off a couple of mistakes. Just what was the kind of mentality in that locker room from Adri and the rest of the leaders in the group just to get back into the game?
It was tough for sure, just because I feel like we had a decent first half, and to concede the way that we did, it was definitely tough to take. But at the end of the day, we played our whole season for this final, and we're not just going to roll over and let them beat us at home in front of all these fans. So at halftime, everybody's lifting each other up. Obviously some frustration, but we knew we had another 45, and we scored plenty of goals in 45 minutes before, so we knew that anything was possible.
Nate, congratulations on the win. How would you sum up the season as a whole? Coaching change midway, and then a couple struggles in the playoffs, but it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the biggest thing for me, throughout this whole season was just seeing the character of all the players. It's not easy. Obviously, we were first place, coming with Ibra, but even moving to Michael Bradley, a lot of player change, personnel, system, tactics, and I think the character of all the players and the unity that we showed is really what got us here today.
Against Chicago, you were one of the guys that ran the most. Tonight, again, the same thing. Just what in you kind of pushes you to get that second win in big moments, clutch moments, to kind of get this game, the penalties, and ultimately, you bury your penalty in the shootout. Just what in you kind of pushes you forward?
For me, honestly, it's one of those games you don't need too much motivation for. Every kid dreams of playing finals, and Red Bull Arena with 10,000 people, so it's pretty cool. And that being in this kind of atmosphere, there's not much more that I need to keep me pushing till the final whistle.
Let's have 2 more questions, Nate.
Obviously, we don't know the future that holds for you, but when you summarize and you look back on this time with this team this season, just what's going to be that lasting memory for you?
Yeah, it was an incredible experience. The past 4 or 5 months that I've been here, it's been top. Michael Bradley being able to play under a guy like that is obviously something super special, and there's a lot of information to soak in, and I think that playing under him and alongside with all the other good players was probably the most important thing and most memorable thing for me.
You guys were able to lock down Colorado's striker, who had 15 goals this season, one of the top players in the league. How did you guys prepare for him today? I thought he was fairly quiet, even though he got that first goal.
Yeah, he's a good player for sure. But nothing changes too much for us. Depending on the player, it doesn't change a whole lot. It's still our same principles that we're trying to implement. And I think a big part of shutting down offensive players is simply being good on the ball. Because if you're good on the ball and have good rest defense and all that kind of stuff, those players don't have their opportunity to shine.